So I have decided that I am going to take corrections on the midterm if you correct them both. Don't you dare turn in corrections. Don't you dare do it. Because that's a waste of everybody's time. Okay. Yeah, you can earn in corrections, and my plan for today is to take questions. That is most of my plan.
I have a question. For the final, are we studying what we're learning this semester or both?
So, final historically has been, the way I've done it since I've been doing finals again, is second semester only. That way you can have a better test over that material. Because if it's everything, then it was a crappy test of everything. If that makes any sense. And it kind of makes, the real point of that, I think it was Taylor that was hitting on this the other day, weeks ago now, but really the main reason I give you a final is so you can be prepared for taking big tests later. Like, I don't really, like, there's only so much benefit other than that, and I do try to test the core material. Like, it should, like I've told y'all about this hierarchy of the way I heard this from a college professor, actually, a friend, and that the hardest problem should be on the homework, the second hardest on the quizzes, third hardest on the tests, and I'd say the fourth hardest on the midterms and finals. Like, this should be the core. This should be the important bits. This should be if you messed up stuff on here, you probably need to go back and fix it because that's going to help you prepare for next time. Whether it's me or Dr. Bozo Face at Tech, I don't care, whatever.
Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah, he's great. Taught me everything I know. No, just kidding. I only took one math class with my one semester at Tech. She was this. It was the second time I took Cal 3. I took it 3 times. I dropped everything that semester. That semester was a $5,000 waste of time. I mean, it was a $5,000 lesson, just not the lesson I was intending to learn. But, whatever. This lady in Cal 3, she taught on a chalkboard, and she didn't use a holder. And so every day in class, by the time she was done with class, she had chalk like everywhere, on her rear and her clothes and everything, like chalk everywhere.
That's fun.
It's like, this is hilarious. Anyway, so let's start with any questions you have from day one.
Number 7.
7. Oh yeah, that's the problem. That's real easy, unless you don't notice that it's easy. You weren't the only one.
What? Oh, because it's negative. It can't be negative. What? Can't be negative 13. Is it the 13 that can't be negative?
No, the 13 can be negative. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
5 can't be negative?
Yeah, because the whole absolute value is never going to evaluate out to be a negative. Never, ever.
And I missed that problem.
You were not the only one, clearly.
But how come I still got it?
Plug your answer back in, check your answer, and it won't work.
Yeah.
That's too much work.
Well,
Yeah, I kind of wanted to leave, so I didn't.
Did you get the answer right? Can we do number 6?
we can do number 6. Oh yeah, number 6 is number 6 is a little bit tricksy, yeah. Sort of sneaky. It's not hard, it's sneaky, yeah.
We should have counted my problem as right because I added.
Number 6 is one that I wouldn't have given to an Algebra 1 student, but see, you're an Algebra 2 student.
Aha, so you gave it. Wait, why would you not give it to an Algebra 1?
Not on a test. At least definitely not on a midterm.
Give it to them on homework so they can't cry.
It's not hard. It's actually not hard at all. It's just
If you don't know.
if you aren't thinking about something, then you make a mistake. and that you can't do. So what do we have to do first?
Add 3 to both sides.
Yeah, so the mistake that I'm talking about is you have to isolate the absolute value before you split it, right? And another mistake I saw in this, you can't combine these. This is like stuck. Like you can't do 1 minus, I think I saw more than one person do that. You can't like do 1 minus 3 and get -2 and then whatever else, right? So first thing you gotta do is you gotta add 3 to both sides. And you get the absolute value of x plus 1 equals 48. What did you say?
Split it to the 2.
You do. I was just trying, some of the mumblings that I heard sounded like they were incorrect, but I wasn't sure. So I wasn't like yelling at you. I was just trying to see whether you were confused and I didn't know it or not. Because if you're confused, then I might have to say words that will help you unconfused.
I subtracted the 3
It's great.
instead of adding.
Totally fine. I just want to make sure we're all good. Okay, now what do we do?
Subtract 1 from every equation.
So x equals 47 and -49.
It was those negatives again. I did the negatives wrong.
You did the negatives.
Oh my goodness.
But I did the negatives wrong early in the problem.
You should start using a secondary color. See if it helps. And if it doesn't help, then you can be like, see, it didn't work. See, challenge.
But then if it does,
You have to like actually try. Yeah, and then you'll be like, oh no, dang it.
We do number 14.
Then you
Yeah.
never mention it again.
Yeah, then you just pretend like it never happened.
But then you'll
You
see
just
all my
said-
work that it has 2 columns.
You'll be like, oh, look.
I might,
Legs
You gotta
are
take a
there.
picture.
I might not give you a hard time about it, maybe.
I think I'll just when I did the negatives wrong.
I think we just make dumb mistakes. Yeah, I didn't.
A number 4.
What number did somebody ask for?
14.
Someone asked.
14.
I don't know.
You know what the absolute worst holiday tradition that people do is? Like, way the worst. Other than the people that, get drunk every Christmas, because that's pretty, dumb. But absolute worst holiday tradition is Elf on the Shelf. I hate it with a fire-breathing passion. I hate Elf on the Shelf so much.
It's so
And I hate Elf on the Shelf videos that pop up at Christmas time, and I hate all of it. It's terrible. And I also hate the stupid meme. You've heard of Elf on the Shelf. Now, I'll fought on a pot. I don't know. Whatever. Stupid. Hate Elf on the Shelf. It's terrible.
What is a thought? And why is it?
I don't know. It just I was trying to think of something that rhymes with pot, and it was not. Nothing useful was coming. Nothing use. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. So number 14, we're supposed to find the equation line, slope-intercept form that passes through 1, -2, and -3, 3. What should we do?
You do the x 1
Find
x
the
plus
slope.
You might have been saying something right. I just am not sure.
1x minus 2x.
So close, but no.
Y to.
Difference of the y's over the difference of the x's.
I have it right on my paper and yet I didn't read it.
Well, that's fine. Again, I'm mostly looking for do you get it?
I thought I did.
I think I just threw in a random negative.
What's gonna go right here?
Look at
That's an x, so definitely not.
3, 3.
What about here? -2. What about here?
-3.
And this one?
1.
Another weird, common mistake. A mistake that I saw, I feel like, on more than one paper in this thing is randomly turning addition into multiplication. So if you did that somewhere, don't do that. I don't know what happened or what confusion was. Just don't do that anymore. Okay, what should we do now?
You should.
Ka-ching, ka-ching. So we end up with
5 over -4, which is only 1/4.
You know what I did?
Or
All I
negative
did
1.
I also had more than one person If you have a negative divided by a negative, that turns into a positive, by the way.
Yeah.
I accidentally wrote that and you counted it all.
You just accidentally
It's
did it.
hilarious.
Okay, what now?
Just do a negative fraction and put on
Day
the
two.
outside.
I'm not done with this problem yet.
Shove the stuff in there for slope intercept form.
The
M.
What is slope intercept form?
Y equals
Y
x
equals
plus b.
mx plus b.
Okay, now what am I going to do?
You plug it into the m.
Okay, plug it into the m. Great.
Negative 2.
X was on the override.
Negative 2 equals,
Negative 5/4 times, parentheses 1 plus b.
From the X
Oh,
or
yeah,
Y.
that's
I know, I did it
what's
right.
1 times negative 5/4?
You must have just mapped it out.
Negative 5/4.
Thank you.
I think we need to validate that.
Hey, why'd you count that wrong on hers? You counted it right on mine.
I don't know what you're talking about. What should we do now?
We got the exact same answer. Oh, no. You
Yeah.
added a 1.
Or, I don't know.
So you must math.
What's negative 2 plus 5/4?
13/4.
Definitely not.
Negative 3/4.
Negative 3/4.
So you just did your math.
Now what?
Add the m.
Plug it into the
So much sadness.
negative
That's another thing I would generally try to avoid in an Algebra 1 test.
Why?
Answers that look like that.
Because they're ugly.
They're beautiful, but that scares poor little Algebra 1 brains. But you have nice, brave Algebra 2 brains. You can handle it.
Lies.
Okay, any other day 1 things?
Is number 16?
Yeah.
Can we guess the mistake I made?
I made 2 addition errors already.
Oh no.
The negatives.
Slow down enough to check your work. So same thing, but passes through negative 2, 1, and is parallel to y equals negative 1/2 x minus 2.
So they'll have the same slope but a different.
Yeah, that's true. They do have the same slope because they're parallel.
So then you put in the Y and the X. And then solve it.
People want more mistakes here. But at least that was
It's the negative. Look, you messed up your negative. You need to reduce
everything you should have done.
What number 1? You know, you didn't give us a perpendicular one on the study guide, so I was scared when it was on it because I didn't know if I remembered.
But you did remember it.
I did.
I almost didn't remember it. It took me like 10 minutes of my time just sitting here thinking about it.
This 17, the perpendicular one.
Okay, what about day 2?
It's
Day 2.
Question 18.
Question 18.
Everything's just dumb mistakes.
I actually made real mistakes.
Oh yeah, 18 had various and sundry mistakes.
I don't know what I did on 18, but I made it wrong.
I don't think I counted off for that.
Oh wait, 18.
Oh, no,
yeah,
you
I have
can't
no
have
idea what I was
something
doing
else.
on 18.
Switched, I switched.
18 was
You know what
wild.
I did on 15? I forgot my
Oh, wait, 18, not 19?
I got, yeah, I was looking at 18. I was like, that's not what I was looking at. I did mess up on 18. Horrible.
Oh, yeah, I messed up on 18, man.
Okay, so we're supposed to simplify. So what do we need to do?
You simplify it.
You have to.
What's wrong with it? What do we not want?
Dividing by the square.
Yeah, we don't want square root down in the denominator. We can't just do this. Why not?
Because they're numbers.
No, not because they're numbers.
They're fake numbers.
No, has nothing to do with any of that.
Imaginary.
No, has nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing to do with that.
Because if you do that, it makes the answer wrong.
Let me write two things up on the board.
Because it's multiplied.
Which one's right?
The top.
Which one's allowed? Which one's legal?
The top one.
Top one's wrong. Top one's bad. We don't like the top one.
Oh, because it's added and not multiplied.
This one's fine.
Yeah.
This one's not fine.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Okay. That's why we can't do that. Because of
Dumb
that.
negative. How dare you be there?
Okay.
Okay, so what do we actually do?
You can multiply by its opposite.
Separate out.
Multiply by something, not opposite,
Sorry.
but you might be meaning the right thing. I don't know.
Multiply by 2 plus I on both sides.
Okay, so that's right.
I did that.
Not both sides, but top and bottom is what you probably meant.
Yeah.
Yeah? So you're multiplying by, what is that called? Anybody remember?
Reciprocal.
That's definitely not the reciprocal.
I was thinking.
The determinant, no.
Wrong starting letter. Starts with a C.
Constant. Coefficient. Calculus.
The conjugate.
Yes.
Okay, we multiply by the conjugate to get rid of that, which is a skill that you're going to need to keep in your back pocket, because when we're simplifying other radical stuff, when we get to that unit, you're going to have to do it some more. Okay, so grab that skill, stick it in your back pocket because it's coming back. So now what?
They multiply.
Math.
Great. What do we do on the top?
Distribute.
We distribute.
Oh, that's what I did wrong.
What is negative 3i times 2? Negative 6i. Bless you, I think. What is negative 3i times I?
Negative
3i squared.
Negative 3i squared, which was another mistake I saw some of. In the denominator, what's going to happen? It doesn't die. So normally we would have to FOIL, right? We'd do first, outside, inside, last. But we don't have to do all of that on this one, right?
Because they're
Two of them drop out. Now you could do that. You could go ahead and do the whole thing. You could do the whole schmagoigle. You could do FOIL. But all you have to do is FL. Because the O and the I are going to drop out. They're going to disappear. And if I can talk through it on this one, 2 times I is 2i, and negative I times 2 is negative 2i. 2i plus negative 2i, poof. Right?
so it's
And that always happens. So just full. So 2 times 2 is what?
4.
4. And then negative I times I is what?
negative 2i.
No, negative I squared.
Negative I squared, which is good because that's going to make the I go away. Right? Now what can we do?
We can simplify by
Good? How?
turning this I squared into negative 1.
Yeah. So this turns into negative 6i minus 3 times negative 1. 4 minus negative 1. So then our answer is 3 minus 6i over 5. And technically, if we wanted like perfect problem, we need to split this into complex form and turn it into 3/5 minus 6 fifths I.
You would accept either of those?
It would probably depend on how generous I was feeling. In pre-cal, I would only take the other. In algebra 2, it would depend on whose paper I graded first. I'm always consistent in one class. So if I count 3 points on something on Izzy's paper, then everybody else that did the same thing loses 3 points.
That's nice.
We can do 17 as well.
We could do 17 as well.
So it depends.
Oh yeah, 17 was one of the ones where we had weird stuff turning from addition to multiplication somehow. Some magic, I don't know. There were probably other mistakes as well, but that was definitely one of the problems where for some reason addition turned into multiplication, and I don't know quite what happened. So let's do 17, here we go. So negative 2 plus 4i minus 3 minus 7i. Okay. This problem is probably easier than what some of you were thinking. Some of you just made a mistake with negatives. But, so another thing that happened on a paper or two, if you learned before you came to me to take something like this and stack it, stop doing that because you're going to make negative mistakes every time. So if you're like you take this and then you put minus this, don't do it that way. Do it the way I teach it because it's not because that's wrong and that is a valid method for doing stuff. You're just going to make negative mistakes if you do it that way. I know because I've seen it lots. So, what do we need to do?
Distribute the negative.
We got to distribute the negative. That's true. Which doesn't somehow turn it into multiplication. I think that's what happened. I think it was like the negative was moving, and so it disappeared or something. I don't remember who all did that, but
Oh, I think I did that.
at some point, at this point, something like the negative got like shifted or something. So negative 2 plus 4i minus 3, wow, plus 7i. Combine like terms. Where are they?
Negative 2 and negative 3 and 4i. There's always the
Imaginary part second.
yeah.
Real imaginary, yeah.
Would it be right if it was the other way, or would it be wrong?
It would be wrong.
But you counted it right over here.
I was probably feeling generous.
You just said if you gave it wrong to one person and someone else did the same exact thing, then
Well, I already had points
Well,
taken
was
off
it
for
the
other
same
mistakes on
thing?
the problem.
Was it actually
Yeah.
the same or?
yeah, I did 11i minus 5.
Over
Well,
here I
she also, did I actually count off for that?
You
let me
didn't
see.
count off for this. You counted off for
Yeah,
that.
no, see, I didn't count off for that. Psh, on hers.
But
Counted
you
off
counted
for
off.
other things.
But you counted off.
Yeah, so I was not feeling generous. No, I didn't count off.
Okay.
She didn't, that wasn't, no, like, that wasn't
I
the,
understand. I get it. I understand.
she had minus more points than you.
I get it. I get it. I understand.
Okay, great. Good job, Malcolm.
Yeah.
I did give you back some point. I noticed I made a mistake on grading, which actually did change. I didn't think it was going to change your grade, but I did.
Went from an 89 to 90.
Yeah, it did. Actually changed it. Like, well, that'll look prettier. So
That'll be it.
I don't often catch my mistakes as I'm grading it, but I did. I think somebody else had done the same thing. I realized, oh, I think it was a key. There was a mistake in the key. Was that this one? Yeah.
Looks like you're
On number 20, there was a mistake in the key, but I fixed it.
It looked like you were gonna take points away from me on number 16, and then you were like, "Oh, there's the answer."
Yeah, I did take points away, and then I realized, oh, the problem just kept going.
It just keep going. You just
I-
kept
I-
going, you kept going.
yeah.
Can you do number 1?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I made
I
dumb
probably made a dumb
mistakes.
mistake, but I can't find it. So.
Mine was not adding.
I think I made one too.
Oh, I got a drastically different answer than you.
Oh yeah. We did different.
Izzy, what method do you want to use?
I think I used substitution.
Okay.
No, I don't like that method.
Substitution.
It worked, yes. I just don't-
All right. So if we're going to use substitution, what should we do?
We should
Substitute.
I'm not ready to substitute anything yet.
Oh.
subtract y from that top equation.
I subtracted x.
Yeah, I would definitely do the x
Okay, subtract x from
if you want the easier path forward.
Oh yeah, I see. I get why. That makes sense.
Why am I subtracting one right there? I don't know.
Maybe your brain's melting out your ego.
Now what?
How'd you get that? Oh, okay. Yeah, but I didn't do anything.
I enjoyed the delay there. That was.
Now what?
Plug it into the.
I thought you'd already plugged it into the next problem, and I was like, what?
What do you want to bet you made a negative mistake like right here?
I did not.
I did.
Now what should we do?
I did exactly that.
distribute the negative.
Somehow I went from this to the wrong.
Combine. And multiply the 6 over.
I like that. Let's do both of those things.
So for some
Sounds
reason
great.
I subtracted by 1. 1x.
On at least one of your papers, I remember as I just wrote this, if you have gotten lazy and have started writing division like this, it's only lazy in this context, and in the context of the one or two people that did it, it's just lazy. The thing that you need to remember is this 3 goes into everything. So if it was like 6x minus 2 equals 5, and you divided by 6, that does not turn into this. It turns into this.
I'm not entirely sure what I was doing. I just subtracted.
So if you write a big division symbol, that's fine. Just gotta remember it divides into everything. Anyway, now what?
Now you plug that into.
Did you already figure out what you made a mistake on?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I don't understand what I was thinking, but I do
Okay.
know what I did.
Okay. All right, what else? 20?
Oh yes, I need 20.
20 is the one that was there was a mistake in the key.
Can I get that one wrong?
Question mark.
Seems like I got everything wrong a little bit.
I feel that too.
It's like there's like 3 problems that have nothing off on them.
And everything else.
And they're all on the same page. I just got one page like perfect, and then I got like all the other stuff partially wrong.
Well, that concept you got down. That one doesn't need any refinement.
I can't believe I remembered the formula for this.
So we're supposed to write it in vertex form, identify the vertex, axis of symmetry, and direction of opening. So who, was it you that just forgot to put the direction of opening?
Yeah,
That's so annoying. So sad.
that's not.
It's like
really-
that's Britain's version of units.
That's not even the part that I'm really annoyed about. The part I'm annoyed about is question 8. I just thought I forgot how to do it,
Oh,
and,
but
and then I look back now and I'm like, it says determinant, and I know how to do determinant.
oh,
And I just.
that's annoying.
All you need to do is
Okay, so turn this into vertex form. What should we do?
Why? I know the form.
I know the answer.
It's -2 times
Oh, wait,
x
I actually-
squared
got this one kind
Well,
of right.
no, minus.
Isn't it negative 4?
So this can't be negative 2. So we got to factor a negative 2 out of these two is what Malcolm's talking about, right? Okay. Negative 2. Factored out of the first two. Gives us x squared minus 2x. Now what do we write? What do we do? What are we thinking? What's happening?
Give a space.
Give a space.
I'm gonna tell you, I didn't do that, but I got the right answer.
Plus 3.
Plus.
I didn't do it either.
I did the axis of symmetry and then plugged that into f of x. I found the vertex.
What?
I found the axis of symmetry. And
Yeah, you can find everything except the vertex form with other methods. Yes, that is possible.
It's wrong.
But I got everything.
No, I wouldn't have counted off for the parts that you got right. I would have just.
Get anything wrong. I memorized the formula and plugged everything in.
Yeah.
The formula after I found all the answers and then plugged them
Oh,
all
that's funny.
That's what I did too. I just missed one number.
That's like you can tell you went to public school for a while. That's like a multiple choice test taking strategy type thing right there. That's what happened. But it was good problem solving. So you learned something in geometry. Okay, so what should we do now?
We
Find this,
I guess what we do.
complete the square of the thing by doing negative 2, or sorry, 2 over negative.
B divided by 2 squared.
B divided by 2.
Some of you forgot that one, so there it
For
is.
that formula, it's kind
Awesome-ish.
What's the one where it's like negative?
Vertex form is negative b over 2a.
I like the way I did it better. It's easier.
I don't really think that's true.
Well, because once I have all the answers, I can just plug it into the formula since I already have it memorized.
It's negative 1.
Yeah, but you had to at least remember how like the a part.
How did I find A? I
You-
just did the first one.
You just YOLO'd it a little bit.
I did it for both and got it.
Okay, negative 1 squared is 1. Now what?
Put the 1 in the.
Okay, so plus 1. Now, normally we would just put minus 1 over here, right? But that's not what we're going to put.
We have to multiply by the thing at the front, which is negative 2.
Have to multiply by negative 2, and then we got to do the opposite, right? To get rid of it. So negative 2, and then the opposite of that is plus 2, which was the mistake on the key.
Yeah.
It had said minus 2 on the key.
I'm thankful that you noticed that. And
I would have given it back if you saw. If I always do that. If I make a mistake and you're like, "Hey, you messed up," then I give you the points. But
And your ego gets hurt just a little bit. And
No.
it's
Why would it?
Easy go.
why would my ego get hurt because I made a mistake?
everyone makes mistakes, Landon.
That's true.
Yeah.
I made a lot of them.
Well, we can rub it in your face and it makes us happy.
Only idiots don't make mistakes, or insane people.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, definitely mistakes are fine. Mistakes are good even.
Or Jesus.
He doesn't make
What?
mistakes. He doesn't make.
Jesus doesn't make mistakes.
Okay, now what?
I was like, I had to clarify that too. I was like, are you saying he makes mistakes?
It kind of actually sounded like he was saying he was a mistake. It's kind of what it sounded like. He was, that like if you were to like English out his sentence, it would have been more that than the other. Okay, what should we do now?
We should squish
Math.
that thing together. It's gonna be x minus 1. Yeah.
And then the vertex is at 1, 5. Axis of symmetry, which I did not count off for this, but axis of symmetry is a line. So if you don't write x equals 1, it's technically wrong. If you just write 1, that's not right.
I did that.
It's a line. Which direction does it open?
Down.
It opens down. How do we know that?
Because of the negative.
Because of negative a.
2.
Yeah, and then
Well, you learned
We studied
something.
together, so that's.
Great.
And that's why I couldn't find it, because I didn't YOLO the A.
No, to find the A. Look right here. It worked with this one too. I just wrote 1%.
I couldn't find the A because
I didn't know.
The A is right here. That's the A.
yeah,
Unless it's a fraction.
we didn't have a fraction.
What other questions? Okay, so let me see what we're doing next. You know, usually I have a lot of people miss the inverses. More of y'all got inverses right. 16? Yeah.
Well, I did it mostly right, but I need to reduce. And I messed up mine.
Once you do the reduce,
I did.
$16. Supposed to solve 3x squared plus 4x plus 5 equals 1. By the way, on number 15, there were multiple of you made the mistake. I marked it on everybody that did. 15 does not factor because -2 times -1 is not -2, it's +2. So he don't factor. So you got to use it, do it with the quadratic formula or completing the square or whatever. Okay, so this one, save us time and trouble, it doesn't factor either.
You gave her a correct answer.
What are you talking about?
On 15?
On 15, she circled an answer.
No, it has an answer, it's just not factorable.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, factoring.
It has an answer, you just have to use quadratic formula or completing the square. Okay, so how do you want to solve this?
Quadratic formula.
No, she has to tell me because she was the one that asked about it. Which one do you want to use? You just picked it because of peer pressure. What is the quadratic formula?
B.
Negative b
plus
plus
or
or
minus
minus
the square
square
root
root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2.
Or minus 4ac. I don't remember who accidentally had the formula wrong. Sorry. You did like everything else perfect. Don't remember when I can tell from the face. Sorry.
Did somebody not say?
Like the math was completely perfect, but this was a 2. Oops.
I don't know how I made that mistake.
I don't know.
Well, 4 divided by
Who knows? Well, it obviously got stuck in your head. Like whatever it was stuck in your head because you had, yeah, that was annoying. So sad. Okay, what should we do now?
plug in.
Plug it in, plug it in.
3. B.
Sounds like an old jingle.
It is for Glade.
I always mess up if I don't do like the A, B, and C.
Oh yeah, like labeled them. That's a good idea. That's great. What's gonna go here?
4.
4,
Here?
4.
3, 5.
You sound so sad.
What's 4 squared?
16.
What is -4 times 3 times 5?
Negative 60.
-60.
12 times 5,
Negative
How do you
Negative 44.
44.
I didn't
So a mistake I saw, I think this was on more than one paper. You can't like reduce right now. I can't get at that yet.
Because you got
I can't just divide by 2
Nope.
here because of the square root.
magic.
That don't work. Yeah, it's just magic. We don't believe in strange magic. We believe in math. Yeah? It does need an I, so great call on the first thing that we can do. We can pull out the negative and turn that into an I.
and then do square root of 4 times the square root of 11.
Yeah, we look for perfect squares in there. It's got a 4 in it. So we can turn this into,
I pulled out a 2i.
So that's what we're doing. You just skipped a step. You just did a step in your head, and it worked out in your favor. You probably should. I know you probably should like not do that too much, because often it like takes your grade from an A to a B, which you don't want. But you know, it's fine. Now what?
Oh, you do the square root of 4.
Square root of 4 is in fact 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful about skipping steps. I don't start encouraging people to skip steps until
I
pre-algebra.
don't even think I meant to.
Pre-algebra.
Probably not. Now, that might be true. That might be true. You might have just realized, oh, this is a thing that can happen.
Divide literally everything by 2.
Now we can reduce, because the 2's hanging out outside. Yeah, and so negative 2 plus or minus I times the square root of 11 over 3.
Oh,
Here, you need to.
I got 4 minus 2i.
You needed
And
to
you
Uh-oh.
actually gave me the right
actually
answer.
correct answer.
Yeah.
Well, I still would.
4 minus 2I.
4 minus 2i square root of 11 over 6. Oh, because I split it, yeah.
That's why I have to do that.
Do we not have to split the...
Oh, but you didn't reduce? Dang, you got a point that you shouldn't have got.
I would have gotten that.
Yeah, it still would still need to be, splitting it's fine. Splitting is totally fine, but you would still need to reduce it. So what it should have been, to get full credit, should have been negative 2 plus this and negative 2 minus this. Probably that was the one where I was like, oh no, he didn't. So
Yeah,
probably in catching my mistake, I didn't realize that there was another mistake on your part. But it's fine. Not a problem. Not a problem at all.
Yay. Yippee.
Hey, free...
Woohoo.
All right, let me see what we did before we left.
Zero. We didn't do the 5 stuff.
Yeah, I think we did. I was trying to remember how far we got.
I know.
And it was all really annoying.
Oh, I remember we had the weird things with the dividing and the cardboard stack.
I won't say just how much everything.
Yeah, I
Without
kinda
being tired of
remember.
getting annoying.
Let's see.
Now I can remove all of this from my books.
Okay.
5 is what we got to.
What if we have a pop quiz on stuff from unit? And an open note, but you got rid of it.
I mean, why do my notes look this crazy?
I would still.
Solving polynomial equations. All right.
You don't realize how...
Let's get started on 5, 6.
We got like 10 minutes.
Oh, good. That's enough time to do
I
things.
didn't have 10 minutes.
We have 9 minutes.
I'm going to hold you over if you keep whining.
Oh, the book got turned open.
I'm gonna give you a quiz. That sounds fun. Let's do it.
Oh, let's
Out of
really
everything
not,
I
please.
forgot.
Let's see what you remember. Let's make up some Christmas math problem. Sounds fun.
Merry Christmas. You get a bad grade.
Wait, when we're taking our quizzes and looking at our books, can we go back to the part of the book where it's teaching us?
No,
But just stop.
me.
My conscience.
But would you really notice?
My
Depends on the day, I
handwriting's
guess.
So bad that you probably wouldn't.
Well, no, I mean, like, you forget
Hey.
how to do it. You just go to the front of the unit and it teaches you how to do it. I mean, in a really bad way that's super confusing, but still.
Okay, so we're gonna learn a method for substitution called synthetic substitution.
Yeah.
That's something weird, but also kind of interesting.
Okay,
Like you get little...
in math class, where are you? This is the problem we're gonna solve. You ready?
I completely forgot how to do this, but...
Well, this is new, so
Oh, I thought I did this. I don't know.
If f of x equals
What is this? 7th, 8th?
oops.
It's the 8th, right? The 7th. Dang it.
Are you dating your paper pen?
Dang it. Give me some of your tots.
Yeah, is that a point?
This is an 11.
I thought it was just from.
He's just still hungover from New Year's. Okay. So, normally, historically, what we would do is plug 3 in there and then you do the things and whatever else. So, the remainder theorem says that we can use synthetic division to find this out because this is a root of this. So we can solve for this by doing this.
Are you making us do proofs?
No,
Good. She doesn't care about anything else.
I
Yeah,
should.
We did do this. I remember-
We did synthetic division, yes. We just didn't use it for this application.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
This is the one
I remember like all the little boxes of.
Yeah. So what do we do now?
I don't remember how to do it. I just remember.
What do we do now?
You have to do something with the 3 in the problem.
And then you drop it down, and then you just.
Drop it like it's hot. That's right. Now what do you do?
Then you times it by that.
Okay, so 3 times 3 is
9.
9, and then what?
It's
And then
Negative
3.
three.
It's just 3.
Negative
It's just 3.
three.
Negative 6 plus 9 is 3. It's addition.
And then it's 6 again, and then
Or
it's
9.
7.
It's definitely not 6
It's
again.
9 again.
No, it's
And then it's 10.
3 times 3 is 9.
Oh.
1 plus 9 is 10.
Our brains are
lied.
not functioning at a full capacity.
3 times 10 is 30.
So you got like
19.
11 times 30.
I was gonna say
30.
29.
Oh,
Not
wait,
times. Not times.
29.
yeah. 19. I was right.
19.
Holiday brain or something. I don't know.
What?
What?
And then you circle the last one.
What?
What?
So f of 3 is 19.
But what?
Because the answer is the remainder.
Oh.
Uh,
Like there's only 2 places where numbers match, but
That's fun. I like that.
it's such a great way to do that.
In the little box on the side, do you put the f of 3 or are you putting the first number?
Letter.
letter number.
So the
Chicken
first
wing, I don't know.
letter, or no,
Oh my gosh.
the first number up there is 3, but we're finding f of 3.
This
Put it in the
3
little
is that
box.
3, and
Okay.
this 3 is that 3.
I was asking which one's in the box.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Okay, so that's a great use for synthetic division. Another great use, this one you better get used to because this is the one that you're going to fill up pages with. Okay, because the factor theorem says that if you divide by a number and it is not, and you get a remainder of 0, then that number is a 0 of the polynomial, which makes sense because it divides evenly. So let's do an example.
No clue what all that is.
You just stop paying attention. I understand.
My brain's
Okay.
still kind of coming back.
Holiday brain.
So we're going to show that x minus 2 is a factor. That's why I'm pushing you today. Because then it'll be easier when you try to do stuff and like actually watch notes on this and whatever. So you won't be dusting it off later today or tomorrow. You're dusting off now. See? Smart.
Yeah.
I'm being kind and generous.
Sounded very, very.
X minus 2 is a factor of x cubed minus 7x squared plus 4x plus 12. And then we're going to find the remaining factors. So we're going to divide it. I want you to notice something when I write down numbers up here. What do you notice when I wrote down the numbers?
1.
Why is there?
As a positive 2, not a negative 2.
Why is it?
Because it's a 0. Here's the blanket statement that it'll get you through. Every time we use synthetic substitution, you're going to switch the sign, except, not synthetic substitution, every time you use synthetic division, you're going to switch the sign from the beginning to here, or here to there. Except synthetic substitution, which is what we did just a few minutes ago. That's the only one where it's the same sign. Okay? So now let's do this. So 1 and then 2 and -5, -10, -6, -12, 0. So we proved that this is a factor. So we can rewrite this polynomial now in a depreciated form as x minus 2 times x squared minus 5x minus 6. This squared is 1 less than this. Yeah? That's how we knew that. Now this we can factor. Yeah? So what should we do to factor it? No, that's going to put it back to that. We're trying to factor it. This guy's going to hang out. He's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 sets of parentheses.
I don't know why every time I think of factor, I try to unpack.
X on first two.
X and X.
6 and 1.
6 and 1, not 2 and 3, because the sign won't work at the end, yeah? Minus and plus. There we go, we did it.
Yay. And then you just put the x.
And that was synthetic what?
We used synthetic division to factor this. This is synthetic division.
And the other one was synthetic substitution because we were substituting.
Because we're
Yeah, we were still using synthetic division to do synthetic substitution.
Does it have to end in 0 for it to be right up there?
Yes.
So what happens
If it doesn't end in, then this is not a factor.
Okay.
so what would be right as our answer?
Well, this instructions on this problem said show that it is. So you would write, I did something wrong, let me go back and check my work. Okay, later whenever we're trying to find all the factors, then you'll be like, okay, let me try a different number. And then let me try a different number. And
Different number.
Is this the lesson on learning how to do normal?
the rest of this unit is basically factoring big ugly things and learning more and more methods to limit the number of possibilities further.
Yay.
The next lesson is basically try all the